Hi, I'm Cephas Mutami. I'm a human at JJ Fellowship.
Ifikile imini enkulu. Welcome to the Humans of JGF, a JGF holiday special highlighting the brilliant minds behind our vision. And today we have a special guest with us. Good people, this is my first conversation ever with this new team member of ours. We have Dr. Cephas Mutami. Hello, Doc.
Hi, how are you? You can just call me Cephas. I'm fine.
Sam was saying that he tried to call you doctor. You're just like, please don't call me doctor. Is there any reason why?
No, we just want to level off and, to create a welcoming space to have conversations and also, to be engaging. Title dropping, sometimes it doesn't open up such pathways for communication.
I actually like the way that you phrased it, like title dropping opens pathways for communication.
Yeah.
I love that. That's interesting. Welcome to JGF as an organization. This is your first week here.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
And how has it been?
Yeah, the team has been fantastic. I think I received a warm welcome across the board from Alan G. Gray Philanthropies, JG Fellowship colleagues. This is heartwarming and I'm excited to be on board with this great team.
Oh, lovely stuff. And we are so excited to have you. We've heard amazing things about you. One of our colleagues, Umzwandile, mentioned that he has worked with you. So he says, if you can work with me, you can work with Cephas. And we're excited to have you based on that. So tell us, where are you from?
I was born in Zimbabwe. That's where I did my primary and secondary education.
Whereabouts in them?
In Motoko. It's the eastern part of Zimbabwe. It's the southeastern part of Zimbabwe. So it's closer to Harare. And I did my secondary, in fact, all my primary and secondary education there in Motoko district. Then I moved to Harare around 2003 for my studies at the University of Zimbabwe. I studied rural and urban planning, for majoring in project planning and management. After 2007, when I graduated, I worked a little in Zimbabwe in the corporate sector. Before I enrolled for Masters in Development Studies at the University of Zimbabwe or for Fort Hare in Eastern Cape.
Where the Alice campus or the
Yes,
campus?
the Alice campus.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
So I spent, in fact, that's when I started to learn more about South Africa and so forth. So I was more into research, and I also saw an opportunity then in 2009 to contribute to the community there by teaching mathematics at a local secondary school. So I taught 2009 and 2010 there. For those 2 years I was teaching there. So it was an experience also in part of my life, also contributing, because I had this passion with me in terms of teaching, imparting knowledge, and actually being with young people as they learn, as they grow, and how they utilize this and how they appreciate this kind of knowledge which you'll be thinking. And of course my challenges there were to do with language, because I could only speak mostly in English, and most of my learners they were more comfortable with Xhosa, and so they would teach me, but I would try to make mathematics not this, but very simple kind of
a subject. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, Cephas. You are our M&E specialist, right?
Yes.
For someone who is listening to you and they're like, what even is that? Could you give us a glimpse into what your profession entails?
Yeah, so monitoring and evaluation is one of the special areas of interest for me because I tend to contribute more when we are looking at projects and development. When organizations, companies, and governments implement projects and programs to improve people's lives and society. Before then, people just implement. After some time, they say, we feel like it's not working. Let's try another thing. But of late, it has become very much of concern that we need to measure, we need to assess if what we intended at the beginning of the project is what we have gained, or if there are changes in society. Most of these projects, they have some kind of targets and anticipated benefits in future. So looking at whether a project had really contributed or led to certain causes or of changes in society. That's the hallmark of evaluation. But not only that, because if we wait until the end of a program term to evaluate and see if there are benefits, if we have created the right changes, the right impacts, then we will be too late to change anything because the project would have run its course. So what we do now, we have monitoring, which is a day-to-day kind of management intervention which you undertake when you are implementing a project. So you are monitoring if the intentions of the program are being done as intended, whether we are following what we said we're gonna achieve. If you say, I want to, from Woodstock, I want to go to Cape Town city center or to the waterfront, monitoring will be like, well, we are seeing you are taking this direction. Indeed, you are going to Cape Town. But why are you suddenly taking the M5 to Mozambique? Why are you taking another road? You are monitoring whether the critical steps which you need to undertake to achieve your end result is being done accordingly. So monitoring also has become important as we seek to improve efficiency, because we are not just saying we want to reach our goals, our objectives, just by utilizing all the resources which we have, but we want to look at efficient ways of reaching the same goals and objectives.
And the impact of those.
Yes, the impact of those. And so that because sustainability matters, ensuring that we conserve these resources which we have for future use or for future programs, that's important. So monitoring helps us to look at efficient ways which you are checking, because if you are an M&E specialist, you are trained in such kind of lenses which sees where we are going. Is the end result. So for whatever is being done, you are looking at how does this brings us closer to where we are going.
The objective.
Yes. How does the kind of teacher, professional whom you want to build, who could contribute to leadership, who could contribute to entrepreneurship, who could contribute to the professional ethos of a good teacher in the future of South Africa, what we are doing now, how does it contribute to that?
To that greater
Is there
vision?
any way
Yes.
which we can increase the intensity of some of the things which we do so that we realize the impact?
Also, it also then brings
Yeah.
about the question of intention. You need to be
Yes.
very clear on what your intention is.
Yes.
Everything has an impact.
Yes.
So it's not just you just doing things for the sake of doing things.
Yes,
And
yes.
also evaluating the journey
Yes.
from the starting point
Exactly.
to the
Yeah.
because just to evaluate the end point is simply not enough.
Yes.
It's the steps in between, the impact of the steps.
Right. So you are very right there, because most of the programs which we implement, even us at JGF, and also even what governments and other civil partners do to improve people's lives, most of these things have not been done in exact manner before.
Yes.
So what you are doing, you are experimenting. You are trying to say, we think this works. This course of action will likely improve life, will actually bring some impact, some positive changes in future. So what you do now when you are monitoring, you are looking at that and say, what we are doing, does it bring this kind of results? Rather than to wait and say, no, we didn't achieve what we intended.
Yes.
But you are already doing something. You are sitting with colleagues and say, this is how we can improve things. We can improve. How do you think this can be accelerated?
Yeah.
I see some signs of early results. I see some signs. I can smell, just like, I'm a Christian. I would love to use a Bible, example where
Yes.
Elijah would say, look, from afar I would smell of rain, even by the palm of the hand. Clouds are forming far away. So you have to have that kind of foresight and try to marshal resources, people, and energies and competencies and all the motivations towards that end goal.
Good people, I might change my profession and be an M&E specialist. If anything, my colleague here is spitting bars, because I'm just like, ha. And I mean, all of these speak to the fact that you are passionate about people, and you are passionate about the ethical considerations when dealing with people, and getting a community or particular constituents from one point to the next without harm. I'm very.
You see, people matters in what we do, and people, from my perspective, is I'm dealing with experts who are leading in their own field.
Yes.
Experts who are leading in program management.
Yes.
Experts who are leading in logistics, events. Experts who are leading in management, like managing the organization. So every colleagues whom I work with, I view them as leading experts in their own field. So the idea for M&E is, how do we ensure that there is integration, there is coherence, we improve from this. So if I'm engaging with a program management, I'm engaging from a point of view that these are leading experts in program management, and I'm assisting them to see this way in terms of M&E. But the most of my input would be around how do you see this?
Yeah.
How can this be improved?
Yeah.
This is what data is showing us. What other strategies can you think of which can turn around this
thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Cephas.
that's the best.
No ways. You are really converting me. I'm thinking, is it too late for me to start a new qualification? Is it? Now, because we are a teaching fellowship, Cephas, it's only just that we teleport ourselves back to our school-going days.
Yes.
So you please take us to your earliest memory of being in school?
So my secondary school years were filled. I would say those days were filled. I was part of the team in the drama group or club at school.
I also am part of the drama team. I'm actually qualified in the drama and performance studies.
Yeah, I had a strong passion when I was in high school for drama. But my role there was to script the drama.
Right.
Because we will be given by the school headmaster that, look, in 2 months' time, we are going to have, or the community is going to have this agricultural show event. But we have challenges, let's say climate change, we have this kind of challenges in this community. So as school peoples, think ahead, what can be done? Can we dramatize it? And I would say that drama is an important tool of imparting knowledge and sharing stories with community.
This is so brilliant that you say this, because it takes us to the podcast episode where we had an expert called Sheree Halley, and who believes in drama as methodology, drama in education, drama as a means of teaching, as a tool of teaching. So now you are contextualizing that kind of praxis where you're saying, listen, agriculture is the context. We're using drama to tell the story, the intention of agriculture.
Exactly. And what stood out for me during those days is I would just define the roles, the script, that look, this story should involve this and this and this and this, and say, so I believe this role, so and so, you'll be better placed to do this role. But we don't give you everything which you need to say. You think what is appropriate, but the message should remain the same.
So you're giving them room to improvise.
Yes.
To add value to the script.
To add the value to this. So even myself as part of the team which have conceptualized the idea, but listening to the drama as it unfolds was also so entertaining, because look, what the person said, we never discussed that. But so those were my days. My early days at high school were also around assisting others. I with mathematics. So my teacher would ask. We didn't have the benefit of tutors, so would assist each other in class to tutor and assist in subjects areas where people excel. I remember I would also seek help from someone who was very good in commerce. I didn't really follow through, but I would sit in groups to say, okay, those who are struggling with this chapter in our mathematics, that is arithmetic, can you come? These are the tricks, and this is how we are doing it. So it's a life which is filled. I would think that at high school I also made lifelong friends. Friends who have remained part of me, part of my life, part of my family, even up to now.
So what kind of learner were you? So I understand that you were very much within the dramatic and performance side. You had those aptitudes, right? But in the classroom, how would you define Cephas in high school?
Well, if you ask people whom I learned with, they will remember Cephas as the head boy.
Ooh.
I became a head boy. Like in Zimbabwe, we use forms instead of grades.
Yes.
So I became a head boy in Form 3. And Form 4, and Form 5 and Form 6, which is the advanced level, I changed the schools to another boarding school. So at this boarding school, I had spent 2 months at the school. I was made a prefect. And in the second year of my last year for school, I was the vice head boy.
In this new school.
Yes. So
What is it about you? No, we're not gonna gloss over that. We're not gonna gloss. You came in within 4 months. You essentially made such a lasting impression that there was unmovable trust that you could do the work.
Yeah.
It's speaking leadership, of course, but it's speaking high impact.
Yeah.
Where do you get that from?
My mom was very inspirational in my growth. I grew up with my mother for a long time. My dad was working in the city and he would come here and there. But my mother instilled most of my values, respecting others, following governance and rules and procedures, not just to try, She emphasized discipline and said, if you lack discipline, you will not achieve anything. And even in school, you'll fail. You need discipline to discipline yourself that I need to start. I'm not getting this. I need to put more hours into this. So I think that caught the eye of my teachers. After all, most of those teachers have remained my friends up to now.
Wow.
I remember my secondary school maths teacher. I later assisted him to do his thesis in terms of how to coach him, how to...
You assisted your teacher on his thesis.
Yeah, he enrolled at a university. I was now lecturing in Zimbabwe.
Oh, please, this story. He enrolled in the university that you were lecturing in.
Yes. So he was coming now. He wasn't sure what should be done for his dissertation. I had to assist him. Look, a dissertation is structured this way. Here, look for this kind of information, research on this. This is how you draw up your sample. This is how you should do your analysis. I had to assist him in Excel analysis and also starter in terms of interpreting his results.
Right.
So, but this was my teacher when I was just a young boy. So most of them looked and say maybe they picked something I couldn't know, but but also that ability that even there's something human about me in high school, for example, when I went to this school for my advanced level, because there were problems, with boarding schools. Some older learners may try to, to intimidate and harass some very young learners. So as part of the leadership, I made it really a policy to ensure that at our hostels, we don't have such a thing.
Bully-free zone.
Yeah. We would ensure that if we find someone bullying young and others, would ensure that we report to the head and we ensure, please, it should be an example in terms of the right punishment, so that this behavior, because it can be traumatizing for people throughout their life.
Yeah.
So those were some of the contributions I think I made in my formative years. Yeah, in terms. So most of school friends, they will think of me as, head boy and so on.
Leadership. Tell us, Cephas, who is your favorite teacher?
My favorite teacher is Mr. Chibisa. He taught me from my secondary years up to GCE ordinary levels before I enrolled for advanced level. So he inspired me with his knowledge. also my lenience towards mathematics and this kind of subjects was motivated. I didn't like to read a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I was used to, if I get the formula, I can utilize it, I can get the answers, then I'm cool.
You cool. Not to interpret things. I think if we went to the same school, Cephas, I would tutor you and you would tutor me. Because numbers and things, I'm just like, why are there no alternative formulas? These formulas are oppressive.
But I found out the hard way now when I went to the university, because I had to read now.
Yes.
Because there were courses which required that kind of reading and interpreting, and I say, oh my, I should have started this.
Reading this, yes.
Yeah.
What did Mr. Chipisa, you say, teach?
He teaches mathematics.
Okay. He's still a teacher now. He's still a practicing teacher.
He's now a headmaster. I think he had been a headmaster for the last 18 years now. Yeah, I'm thinking he's close to retiring now. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how did you hear or come across the Jake Scalable Fellowship?
I would do, I had always, because I had worked with Mzwandile at Activate Leadership Network, which is based in Mozambique. But I had worked with Mzwandile. So when Mzwandile left Activate, he had said he got an opportunity at Alan Gray, and to me, I didn't know it's Jack's Gerwe Fellowship. I thought, it's Alan and Gray Philanthropies, and no, man, if you're happy, we are happy for you. So he went. So when I came across this advert for this position, I looked at it, and usually I try to search, where is this company, because you have to check some things like cultural fit and so forth. Then I realized, so this is what they do, and they are into education sector and try to impact and contribute to high impact teachers. That struck me. And the fact that the similarities of some of the things which we do here and what we used to do with Activate, they struck me. The software, the idea that we are going to use Salesforce and so forth. That's because I'm also passionate about integrating softwares which enlighten, which make sure that we improve efficiencies and perform better. So it struck me, and I thought, wow, so this is, and when I started to dig, and the way the text of the advert was constructed, it ignites my passion, a culture which support people to succeed. And I thought, well, I think I need, and it wasn't, very simple, because I had just joined another organization here in Cape Town, and I had moved from Joburg to here because I had joined PLUS at the University of the Western Cape as a research manager there. So it wasn't easy, but I also realized that my new role was also more on research project management. I would contribute to data analysis. I would contribute in discussions with donors and other huge funders. But that passion for evaluating things, it was a bit small.
Yeah.
So I thought, wow, so here is where I could contribute more and utilize more of my skills.
Yeah.
So I ran with that.
And to run you have, and now we are here with you. So excited to get a glimpse of, not a glimpse, but to understand the depths of your expertise and seeing them materialize within the organization. Now, please give us a snapshot, right, of everything that has contributed to the Cephas that I am now sitting opposite. We have different phases and faces as individuals, right? And what work, career, life experiences that have really shaped the person that I'm sitting with right now?
Yeah, so apart from education and qualifications, but I think there's something about that, because when you participate in various learning institutions, I had been to the University of Fort Hare, I had been to the University of Stellenbosch, I had been to the University of Zimbabwe. It like brings a cosmopolitan kind of culture, of learning, of processes, of trying to improve things, of efficiencies. And you meet different people in this. So that contributed immensely to my practice, my professional practice. Working with several organizations, because when I was lecturing and researching, I also contributed a lot in terms of evaluation design, evaluation consultancies, consulting several organizations across different sectors. Some in social programs, some in environmental programs, some within the built environment. So that like gave me impetus. I was privileged to have friends, and also to have mentors and professionals who could be willing to assist in nurturing that career. I remember one of is a professor at Oxford Brook University, Dr. Biba. He nurtured, because he had participated in so many high-level evaluations. And when I was engaging with him, he was our external examiner at a university I was working with. So I used to engage with him more. So that inspired me to say, yeah, look, I have done this program in monitoring and evaluation methods, and I'm seeing people who are contributing immensely. And when you see change, which you also have contributed to, that like stimulate passion. So I have also worked with people with great energy, great power, who want to achieve. And to me, that's inspirational. That's inspirational to see, like the energy where young people generally exhibit. In South Africa, for example, leadership from young people who are conscious of the future and want to contribute to the country and, have something to offer to humanity. That inspires me, because I used to say my approach is usually human-centric. I'm focused on the human part of development. How do we improve? How do we achieve? How do we have development? How do we improve systems and all these things? So that like shaped the person I am. But above all, I also remain very integrated with our community where I come from, my parents, our village community. I remain integrated, contributing in a small way to other young people there, offering assistance for here and there, for secondary education, for primary school, and even books and so forth. I see, because that's inspirational to me, because if I go to our community, rural Zimbabwe, and some of them identify, they would say, well, if Cephas would have come through here and achieved something in his life, so possibly we can have that kind of ambition as well. So I would support that kind of ambition And so I'm like a product of many people, many many philosophies, many ideologies, but the human part of what we do is central.
It touches me when you say you were a product of many people. I think it was 2009 it was 2010
Yes.
when I started my Gmail account, when I created my Gmail account, and the way
Yes.
tell us about yourself.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I'm a product of many hands.
Yeah.
I'm literally a canvas of multiple fingerprints. There's so many people who can tell a story about how it is that they've shaped and molded me as a
Sure.
person. And you keep talking about how you are making a small contribution to your community. And I'd love to hear just one person from your community, because I doubt that it's a small contribution. Looking at how deeply passionate you are and a high impact individual, in your eyes, I'm sure it's small, but the people who are interacting with the fruits of your hands, I'm sure they would have a different story to tell. You are under a week in this
Yes.
organization.
Yes.
But I am curious, and I'll still ask this question.
Yes.
What has surprised you thus far being at Jake's Havel Fellowship?
Well, when I was offered this this position, and also having participated in the process, the recruitment process, I had a general idea of what the organization looks like.
Mm-hmm.
The intimacy of their communication, the thought-provoking way, the innovativeness of how they conduct their business. So I wasn't, it came no surprise, because the innovativeness, the kind of closer approaches to people, and where you matter, where every face is seen, that I felt, I think I'm at home. I think I have met people whom I can live with. Work is where we spend most of our time at. And having inspirational human beings around you, to me, that's fulfilling. And though it's a week, but what I know, from my past years of working and practicing what I do, is usually what you see is what you're gonna see. Very few people, show certain things and then overnight changes completely. So, and to me, when I see people who are motivated to achieve a goal, to achieve results, to achieve something meaningful, to me, that's the best kind of people I would want to work with.
Yeah.
Because when I demonstrate the value of M&E in achieving that end result, I will be enjoying my work.
So our candidate fellows, our
Yes.
beneficiaries, they are the North Star of what it is that we do.
Yeah.
We do what we do to partner with their vision, to transform, add value to the South African education system. And when you engage the impact of our candidate fellows, the intention of the program that is held by the Jakes Havel Fellowship, what about these say to you, Cephas, that the South African education system is in good hands?
You see, the South African education system, we might have one or two challenges now. But the thing is, everywhere across the globe, there may be one or two challenges. The most important thing is, what are you doing today to prepare for tomorrow?
Yes.
So having a program like like JG Fellowship.
Yeah.
It tells a story that if you take or if you partner this high-powered, this competent, this energetic young person, contribute immensely towards their personal and professional development, they will likely contribute more to society. Societies usually lack the right leadership with the right vision and mission, who look beyond themselves, who look at how can we contribute to others. So if you look at our candidate fellows, and I'm sure what we are putting into the system in terms of the programs which we are running to support them, I'm sure at the end of the road, they will look back and say, look, I have grown this bubble of influence and contributions. It may be in the schools which they will be working in. It may be in the educational departments. They will be influencing policy and practices. It may be in the unions where they will influence like-minded practitioners to see things, to innovate, to do things differently. And that is the genesis of a revolution in education.
Sure. Thank you so much for that, Cephas. Please name the team members that you've met so far.
I have met Jeremy,
Yes.
the program director. He has been very kind and very patient. From an M&E point of view, I like ask so many questions about the program, trying to understand how everything comes together and how it's delivered and packaged.
And just an interesting point, Jeremy in the morning was saying that when he engages you, you ask questions that he never thought would be worth asking, or he didn't even know that we should be asking, and that your questioning is quite reassuring to him that indeed you're a perfect fit.
I really enjoy also interacting with Jeremy, and I also met the program team. But specifically from the team I will be working with, I have interacted with Petro. We are excited. From what I see we realize the convergence around Salesforce, the nodes which we need to build, the utilization of this database across the organization. I have met the program team, the energy which the team exhibits. I was like, whoa, wow, this is it. Because these are highly capable and energetic leaders who are contributing to this. The innovativeness around the project, how the program is being delivered, that excites me. But overall, I have met, I think, the majority of our team members, our staff in the check-ins, and I would say the passion, the welcome, the warmth of people. To me, warmth matters.
Yes, I love that. Yes, I love that.
And unfortunately, Julian is on leave this week, and when he comes back, I would think we would connect more. And also understand more about the vision, where we are going, and those I would appreciate that. But above all, I'm sure I was speaking with Kaya yesterday about how we would grow the program in future, how we should do, mobilize resources. And so the convergence of ideas and how I should be of service or assistance to various departments, and that excites me. Excites me. As I said, in some instances, you learn by asking questions, by trying to get deeper insights and explanations, which usually, if you just say, okay, I'm here, I'm listening, what does logistics and events do? Sometimes people give you their best shot, but without you nagging them to explain more, you'll never
know.
Get the best of it.
Yeah.
So
Perchance, have you interacted with Jade?
Jade, yes, I had yesterday. We were having a meeting with her.
Please tell us.
Yes.
When you look at Jade and you see her energy, because she's being interviewed after you.
Yes.
What do you draw from her? Her personality, what she's about.
Jade appears to me as someone who is observant. Analytical in the sense of looking at why this, asking the rationale questions around whether within her practice. So to me, that's very important from a monitoring and evaluation perspective, because you want program officers to be observant, to understand the dynamics of how they engage with our fellows.
Yep.
Because we want some things which we can do now, we want to do them now.
Yeah.
Improvements which we think we can do, we want to do them right away. We won't say, okay, we plan to do improvements which will help fellows next day in June. We are saying if we have seen that there are great need for this improvement and it will improve our fellows, let's implement them. Because fellows are also growing, they are not stopping, and they are growing. So you need to contribute to that.
Yeah.
And I like what you said about adding value, because that's the right philosophy when we are running this kind of a program. We are contributing to people who have capabilities, resources, great mindsets, and worldviews.
Yeah.
So ours, we may stimulate, we may contribute in various ways, but we are contributing to that growth. That's important.
Long-term growth.
We do not overshadow anything. We are saying we are partners for your excellence.
Yeah.
And I think that's the sweetest things which I would want to hear as well.
Yeah.
That we are partnering for excellence.
Yeah. And
for impact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And Jade, you guess to say you are the only person in this here organization that got an M&E evaluation on their personality. I mean, congratulations. How does it feel to be you? Okay. So at JGF Cephas, our mantra is #be a teacher. If there is someone who's listening and they have a growing amber in their spirit, they want to be a teacher.
Yes.
What short word do you have for them to encourage them towards this direction?
Teaching is the most fulfilling profession in this world. We may not realize it now, but most of us, we engage in the practice of teaching in our lives daily. Being entrusted to teach, to practice teaching, it's a huge trust. It's a huge opportunity in life. You are impacting minds who usually are young minds who are also eager to learn. So if you come to me and say, Cephas, how are you practicing teaching? I would come to logistics and say, okay, these are intermediate M&E steps which will ensure that you excel in logistics. So, because I don't believe that at JGF fellowship, Cephas will just remain the person, M&E like that. No, I believe in capacitating colleagues to do what they do.
Yeah.
And I also believe that, of course, one person may be limited. But already if I capacitate you and say, look, this is how we conceptualize things in M&E. If you want to do anything, think ahead of the course. And then think of the methodologies which will be measurable, which will demonstrate you have achieved this. So some of the things I will never come maybe to logistics monthly and say, hi guys, how are we coping with? I know already you there, you're already practicing the methodologies for M&E and we are improving. So it's capacity building. It's growing together. It's contributing. Because what works is not possessed, it's knowledge not possessed by one individual.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what works in their particular practice.
Yeah.
So it's harnessing, documenting, providing evidence of what works, what impact are we providing.
Good people, I am so excited to have Cephas Mutami as part of our team. I received a crash course. In fact, we all received a crash course on what M&E is about. I sat through an interview second guessing my own career, because when a passionate individual comes and tells you what they do, you start thinking, hey, Betuna, maybe I can also grow in this. And as you're speaking, I'm seeing how you and Umzwandile are cut from the same cloth. You literally quoted what he claims is a quote that he came up with, which is, the steps we take today affect tomorrow. I'm paraphrasing.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Cephas. So
Thank
excited
you.
to grow on this walk with you. Thank you so much for sharing your wealth of wisdom and being an inspiration. You are led by inspiration, and inspiration pours out of you as a result. So to many more conversations and to many more analytic evaluations. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really enjoyed our conversation.
This is our first conversation, Cephas, ever. I'm so excited. Metunani, you know what to do. It's Jake's Havel Fellowship on social media. Do you know what you need to do? You need to go to Google.
Yes.
And type there Jake's Havel Fellowship, and any and everything you need is there. Let's continue the conversation in community. Any sort of information that you need to capacitate you in contributing to the good work that we do is all there. We are continuing with the series, The Humans of JGF.
Thank you.
We will have our next guest, and from me, Mata Wotladi, I will see you on the other side of this.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Bye.